All right. In the last day or so, Periera posted on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, saying that I've always answered the UFC's calls, but if they want to play with me, we can do that. I've never spoken poorly of the UFC, but with what I've just heard, I'm disheartened. I've already had thoughts of not fighting anymore, and after what was just relayed to me, this may be the start. Allegedly, this is because he was hacked and he didn't say this. But I have reason to believe the contrary. First of all, generally, and I know this isn't the case for everybody all the time, but generally nowadays, when anyone's Twitter gets hacked, either they throw out a bunch of slurs, try to get them canceled and all that, or it'll be some sort of scam promotion where you click a link and it's like, oh, you have to buy this, whatever, and then it's just a complete nightmare. And I know that anyone can type in anyone's way of talking and fool the audience for sure. That's definitely possible. But I don't believe that in the slightest, because it sounds a lot like what Prayer is saying, and putting two and two together, I'm gonna say they probably, because Pereira wants to be very active, right? So I'm thinking he probably wants the Ankalaev rematch right away. So either the UFC offered him a different fight, and which would be complete bullshit because he's bailed him out so many times, and just because he has one bad performance, you see the MMA community, so many of the bandwagoners, abandon him or trashing him for that performance. And that's the thing. Everyone has an off night. It's just some people are in I don't know, brighter lights than other people. If you have an off night in the beginning of the prelims, no one really seems to care unless you're like some huge prospect. But when you're a superstar like Pereira, everyone's watching, everyone has opinions, and it's real unfortunate to see the everyone like hate on him. You know what I'm saying? So, and then he uploaded this video saying that, and it almost looked like he was in hostage, and he was saying that, oh, I was hacked. I haven't used my Twitter in a while. Blah 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 blah. And I was just looking at his Instagram right now. That's where it was originally posted because I was looking at the article to read it, and the post was removed. So that adds even more speculation to what's going on here. And I think either, like I said, either they're giving him a different fight, maybe a striker, which is the most unlikely. The second thing is they're probably trying to cut his pay, like by a shit ton, and that's probably one of the most realistic possibilities that's going on here. Or they're probably bumping around Ankalaev rematch, or maybe they're trying to put it underneath Chimaev and Dricus. I don't know. It would be unlikely that they put on underneath Chimaev and Dricus because you got to go chronologically by the weights. But yeah, I think they're probably either trying to cut his pay or they're trying to delay his fight. And that's the thing. Pereira is really active. He loves fighting often because he knows that his career is coming to an end soon. And I think they're probably just pushing him to the side while they're trying to figure out the rest of the summer. Because Dana just said on an interview after one of the press conferences, he was like, "We have from the summer all the way to October kind of booked up." And Dricus was saying he's 4 months away from the Chimaev fight because he said 2 dates, but I seen on the podcast he said 4 days or 4 months. And so you go, and he said that around the beginning of May. So May, June, July, August. So either August or September. If you want to cut off the end of the months or whatever you want. But and then Pereira, I think he was thinking of fighting in August as well. And the thing is, you always see Pereira. He's always traveling around. I think he was just in Japan recently. Like he keeps traveling all over the place, and it's an alarming, visual, especially when you think like Pereira really needs to dial in because he didn't really dial in the last camp, and he had an alleged injury. And that's the thing. Am I excited to watch the rematch? No. Would I be more excited to watch the rematch than the fight this weekend, Della Maddalena and Bilal? Yes. But I don't know. It's tough to call because Pereira could be telling the truth. It looks real weird that he deleted that tweet or Instagram post about him apologizing. And he looked like he was kind of like laughing and smiling. Like, I don't know. It was just a weird, like, I don't know. It just didn't seem very genuine. If it was, maybe he was just like laughing or kind of unserious because a lot of the fan base was like, because on the video he said that everyone was reaching out saying, "Oh, please don't retire, please don't retire." So it was probably like refreshing for him to see a lot of support as opposed to just negativity since the Ankalaev fight. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I hope the UFC really treats Pereira well because in the past few, I'd say, years, the UFC has been really, really brutal with their stars. Like, that's the thing. I know you can say what you want about McGregor and how unserious he is about fighting and all that. But during his tweets, I'm pretty sure he was like begging either just release me, let me fight. And that's the thing. I'm not going to give McGregor all this shit. Like, I doubt every single tweet was bullshit. You know, I'm sure there was a bit of truth in there. A lot of people were saying that they're delaying it because of the re-signing for the whatever they're going to have their pay-per-views and stuff on, and the TV rights deal and all that. But yeah, if this is true, I just really don't like how the UFC has been doing their stars, man. It's just not great because the thing is, people are saying that they kind of trim the stars' wings because they don't want anyone to be bigger than the UFC. Because apparently the UFC didn't really like how McGregor was kind of the biggest star. And nowadays, the biggest stars in the UFC are Dana White and Rogan, which, everyone has their opinions on both those guys, but at the end of the day, they've been there forever and they do their job. It's just, you think the fighters should be more, in the people's minds, bigger stars. Like the promotion itself, it's real lazy. And I just feel like if they're just trying to cut costs, because you see all the cost cutting, all these Apex cards, all these weak cards, you know what I'm saying? Like they're just trying to squeeze every last dime out of it. And if they're trying to undercut Periera because of one bad performance, that's psychotic. And I really hope it's not true. But all signs are pointing it to, I think Periera probably got a really quick and angry phone call from the brass. And that's the thing, I'm pretty sure DC doesn't think it was. Like, DC says he was full of shit. Yeah. Daniel Cormier rubbishes Brazilian's claim and explains why. Yeah, he said it on his ESPN show, and I didn't watch the full thing, but yeah, he just doesn't believe it. He thinks that, like I was saying, they got a big call, and they're like, hey, take that shit down, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, generally when fighters go against the UFC in public, it's a very bad move. And, it's not looking good. But hopefully the UFC can reconcile with Periera because that's the thing. As much as Pereira is one-dimensional, he's not my favorite fighter. He definitely is, top 5. Like, I love watching him, aside from when he fought Ankalaev. But, yeah, I just really hope they end on good terms with his career because he's done so much for the UFC. He boosted their one of their superstars, Adesanya. He brought so much excitement back into the light heavyweight division when it was really, really dull after Jones left. It had good fights, but yeah, for a guy who doesn't speak English and can't wrestle, he's done real well. And I really hope that the rumors aren't true. Hopefully he was hacked, but it's not looking good. And yeah, I know he's gonna fight Ankalaev again. I'll watch it. It'll probably be a good fight. I don't think it'll go any different. Maybe Ankalaev will get the finish if he decides to wrestle a bit more. But Periera did really good on the anti-takedowns and his takedown defense, especially against the wall. But I don't know. I don't know if Periera has enough in the tank to get him out of there, especially since he's been through so many fights, especially his kickboxing career and everything. But yeah, if Periera can come back and win the belt and call it a day, because I know they're trying to set up that Jones fight or whatever, and that maybe that's why they're being shitty to him, because he kind of crashed the party with that, because they were going to get him versus Jones if he beat Ankalaev. But it is what it is. I just hope Periera ends off on top, and ends his career in his terms and is on good terms with the UFC. Because the UFC can easily erase people from the history books. We've seen that multiple times before. And yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you guys next time.